What up YouTube, Casmus Primary back at you with another video, and for those of you guys who have not been watching the calendar, today is Friday, November 21st, the opening day of the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. A little less than 5 hours from now, I'll be sitting in a movie theater near me with a bunch of other Hunger Games fans, gossiping about what we think the movie's gonna get right and wrong, and, you know, what we expect out of it. But, before I go out to dinner with my family. But for starters, I figure I would go back and review the movie that came out last year. And I wanted to save this for today because of the two movies that are out on DVD right now, the original and Catching Fire, this one's my personal favorite, and it's also the one of the two that I have not yet reviewed. And that is The Hunger Games Catching Fire. Of the two movies that are out right now, as well as of all the books, this one's my favorite. I don't know why, but this one just appealed to me the most. I love the story, I love the drama. It was just a really well-rounded story. Takes place right after, a few months after the events of the Hunger Games. Victory Tour is upon us. Katniss and Peeta going through the 12 districts on the Victory Tour. You know, thanking the tributes' families, visiting the districts. But they also get word that a revolution is spawning in the capital, or in the districts against the capital. And they've become sort of the symbol of it. Which leads to the event of the Quarter Quell, which, for those of you guys who don't know, which is every 25 years of the Hunger Games, they have a Quarter Quell, which is basically an anniversary of the Hunger Games. And also, they're unique because of a different stipulation. Basically, what will happen is they'll have 9 pieces of paper on a grid laid face down, each with a different stipulation of what this year's tributes could be. For example, some possibilities could be both tributes can be of the same gender, or both tributes must be siblings, or each district must offer up 4 tributes, or 6 tributes, or something like that. The stipulation for the 75th Hunger Games was that the tributes must be reaped from a pool of existing victors, which means they can only be picked from victors each district has. It can't be from anyone else. So that meant for Katniss, for the girls, because she's the only female victor out of District 12, as well as either Peeta or Haymitch. Haymitch's name was drawn, but Peeta volunteered as tribute, which I don't think was in the book. I'm pretty sure they drew Peeta's name. But, who knows. But here's the movie. As I said before, I love that artwork of Jennifer Lawrence and the logo behind her. Hunger Games Catching Fire, DVD and digital ultraviolet. Every revolution begins with a spark, which was not in the book, but I do love that quote. Hunger Games Catching Fire, Katniss there on the side. The back, you've got a whole bunch of tributes. You've got Finnick, you've got Joanna, Katniss, Peeta, Brutus, Wiress, and Beetee. I always see myself as a combination of Finnick, Beetee, and a little bit of Katniss. Spectacular in every sense of the world by Peter Travers of the Rolling Stone. And there's a little read-up which says, Academy Award winner Jennifer Lawrence returns as Katniss Everdeen in this thrilling second adventure from the Hunger Games saga. Against all odds, Katniss and fellow tribute Peeta have returned home after surviving the Hunger Games. Winning means they must leave loved ones behind and embark on a victory tour through the districts. Along the way, Katniss senses a rebellion simmering, one that she and Peeta may have sparked. At the end of the tour, President Snow announces a deadly 75th Hunger Games that could change Panem forever. And that is true. And apparently, based on what I found out, that stipulation was rigged. Special features include audio commentary with director Francis Lawrence and producer Nina Jacobson, deleted scenes, and a sneak peek at Divergent. Because this was released on Blu-ray and DVD on March 3rd, and Divergent came out 3 weeks later in theaters, which I did see, and it wasn't bad. You open it. Oops. First of all, it's an advertisement for Mockingjay, and also how you can download the books, and also here's my digital copy code, but I've already used it. And then here is the disc, which is a single disc edition, unlike the original, but it has that artwork of Katniss on it, and the Mockingjay Hunger Games Catching Fire. Now, as I said before, this is my favorite of all three books and both the movies. I've spent all week watching them over and over. And I've honestly, of both movies, I've watched the original 3 times and this one 5 times. This is my favorite of the 2 movies, and of the 3 books, I found myself reading Catching Fire like twice before going back to watch the movie. It really is good. It's one of my, not only is it one of my favorite books in the Hunger Games franchise, but also one of my favorite books personally. I love science fiction, I love fantasy books, and Catching Fire is clearly my favorite. If you can find this movie, I say get it. Definitely watch it before you go see Hunger Games. If you're planning on seeing Mockingjay, definitely watch this first. It is a great movie. I cannot recommend it enough. So I guess that's about it. Later, guys. I am out of here.